Welcome to Real Life and Archetypes. My name is Marina. So, the world needs dangerous men, but it might not be in the way that you think. I was reading a post by John Lovell just a few days ago, and he is a former special operator. You know how I always love these guys. And I find their testimony very interesting for so many reasons. You have to understand that we've never had testimony like that before. Remember that in the previous wars, and especially World War II, when these were the greatest generation, but it was also the silent generation. So to have those testimonies is really important. And they are coming back with knowledge or wisdom that they want to apply to the ordinary world. Now, I talk about the hero's journey a lot in here, the hero archetype, and this is about really fulfilling your potential and also bringing something to the world, which really is your best self, the best kind of person that you can be. So these guys, they're talking from the perspective and the context of those experiences, special operators, the elite of warriors. These are people who are capable of acting with great violence when necessary. Now, the most elevated type of the masculine energy is to be a force for good. So to do it with a higher purpose. That's what this guy is talking about. And what he's referring to, which is something that I agree with, that we really need strength in the masculine energy, which, by the way, is not just limited to men. Men have that energy biologically a lot more than women, and they are wired to that energy much more than we are, which means that it's what drives them. It's something that vitalizes them. They love to push themselves and do things like that. Now, some women do as well, but they have a lot more of that energy. This is an energy that needs release and to be channeled into something challenging. Now, life from the hero's journey perspective is what is actually challenging. Existing, being, your presence, who you are, and becoming who you're supposed to be, as opposed to what the world is trying to make you become. That is the meaning of the hero's journey. So we're going back to something that he said. I'm going to show you a first text that he posted on his timeline. It's okay to be manly. It's okay to be dangerous. In fact, we absolutely need manly, dangerous, capable men, warrior poets, if we're going to survive and thrive in this and future generations. Warrior poets, this is his book is titled that way. He has this warrior poet philosophy of life. That's his brand name. That's what he means there. But the concept of needing dangerous men, why is that? Because strength is not the enemy. The enemy is actually weakness. Weakness is going to invite harm to yourself, to others. And if we're not capable of having strength and exerting strength, and in his case, he's talking about being dangerous and violent because that is the experience that he comes from. And it's very valid from his point of view. It doesn't mean that everybody should be, well, maybe you think that everybody should be, but that will depend on, the way that you look at things. I'm not saying that this should be an absolute, but from his perspective, he's bringing back something that he understands. He understands the way that the world works from the perspective of having to fight and to conquer and to defend yourself and to protect the vulnerable. So a few days later, he posted another message. To build a better world, we need what we've always needed. Dangerous men, men who are capable. That's a key word. Who are capable of violence, men who can protect the weak and offer strength to the vulnerable, men who know how to keep a society free, safe and free. because the only way to defeat a bad man is with a good one who's even more dangerous. This is word and vocabulary of the warrior. So not everybody is going to be that. Not everybody's going to be capable of that. But the word capable, that's the key word. To be capable of taking action when necessary. And of course, it's going to be just some kind of people who can do that. And this is language of the hero archetype: to defend, to protect, what he's talking about. And this is something that is recurrent to a lot of the warriors, the special operators that I see go and do interviews and offer their wisdom and their experiences. They have a common theme. A lot of them, it's the sense of protection. That's the family archetype. And guess what is family? A country. A country is a family as well. All human systems are going to engage the dynamics of the family archetype in you. So this is why archetypes are so interesting, because they can apply to many situations and we don't even realize it. So these guys, these high elite warriors who are actual killing machines, they are there to take extraordinary actions in extraordinary situations. But what they often explain when they come back, because what they're doing is that they have, they reflect a lot on their experiences. They go through a lot of stuff. I talk about that in my videos a lot. They have great self-awareness, self-reflection. They go through transitions that are brutal from, high level, high thrill, adrenaline-filled activities from the special world, that's from the perspective of the hero's journey, to the ordinary world. And those transitions can be brutal, but they have so much wisdom to bring back. And we are not used to listening to that kind of testimony. They are gold for us. How can that wisdom be applied to normal life? Well, that can be a way to promote how to manage the masculine energy, and especially in young men and men. But we all have masculine energy. And this is also a subject very interesting for women now that we participate a lot in society, and we have been for a long time, but more and more, to understand how masculine energy needs to be managed, because otherwise we're going to use force in a way that is not going to be very healthy or effective. That's a whole other subject. I will go into the masculine energy in women, something I've talked about a lot as well in other videos. But here, what I wanted to emphasize is that what this guy is talking about is the fact that you need that kind of segment of population, and to also restore the concept of strength in men. I agree with that, because who else is going to protect us? And I think people like me, so I'm speaking from experiences of being a victim of a lot of stuff. People like me actually seek out strong men even more than others, because we know that it's going to help us feel protected. That's actually very important. But these guys, they know that just by being capable, your presence, who you are, is going to serve a great purpose in society. Now, think about martial arts. You know how martial arts, let me just remove this from the screen. No, I'm adding. Okay. You know how martial arts, they really teach you to train your body so that it also trains your mind. You have discipline, and it's actually a way of being and a state of being. It's not about the promotion of violence. You don't go around saying, hey, I have martial arts. The philosophy behind the exercise of the mind and body is that you are capable. And because you feel strong, you don't need to be releasing energy in a chaotic way, aggressive way, dominant way. You have the wisdom of somebody who feels strong. And I think that's what John Lovell is referring to. And I think that's actually a great way to teach, especially young men, to manage the masculine energy, which we also as women need to learn that it needs to be managed. That's our primal energy, the force that we have. You are alive and awake. That's masculine energy. Okay. It's not just for guys, it's for everyone. And I wanted to talk, relating to the sense of presence and how effective it is. I want to give you another example. I'm doing a series about Christian Craighead, another former special operator, British Special Forces, really interesting guy. He gave an interview on the Sean Ryan Show. I'm doing a series. I have several episodes. Please check it out. And he tells the story that one day he was in London, I think, and he suddenly witnessed a situation where there was a car with a driver and then two guys who were trying to kidnap a young woman and put her into the car. And he saw the situation. He walked towards the car. And just by the act of his presence, he didn't say anything, didn't do anything. He was just looking at the driver. And the driver, by instinct, understood that this guy was going to be dangerous. And the driver drove away. And the girl was not taken. So this is the kind of language that these guys understand. They know the power of being strong, because actually to be in a position of strength is the best deterrent of violence. Because, like the example that I just gave with Christian Craighead, this is something that bad guys are going to understand. It's a very instinctual thing, the masculine energy. And it's important to understand that, because bad guys or predators, something that I know a lot about and a lot of women know about, the thing is that they're going to go after the weak, the people who have no protection, no human system behind them to protect them, such as ourselves. And of course, predators, they're cowards. They're not going to go after the strong ones. They're going to go after the vulnerable. And this guy, John Lovell, when he talks about, offering strength to the vulnerable, I mean, this is just so amazing. This is the real man. This is the real hero archetype, that the highest purpose is to serve and to protect the weak. Why? Because when you protect the family, the country, then that environment can offer the right conditions for people, not just to survive and be alive, but to grow and develop. So that is the function of the family archetype. And these warriors, they are protectors. All of them, you're going to see that theme. They are high protectors, and they have a great sense of protecting the vulnerable so that the vulnerable can develop. That is the function of real men. And that's what this guy is talking about. He's understanding that his experiences can serve a higher purpose, which is the development of masculine energy, courage, and all of the virtues of masculinity, because with everything and also that happens in the feminine energy, it can be positive or negative. This is not just about man. It's about all of us. We can all misuse our power and be either a force for good or bad. And what this guy is talking about is about being capable to take absolute action when necessary. But the greatest thing about what these guys are for is to protect the vulnerable. I love that. I love that men are making a comeback. Thank you so much for watching.